Found Ruinas de los Santos because I walked right by it when I went down that way, because there's no sign or anything down there, and I wasn't using my cell phone, thinking it was closer to the broken bridge. We just follow the arrows down that pathway. After the fortuitous finding of lintels and a routine maintenance in this place in 1972, excavation proceeded. Continued through 73, and it includes Canari, Inca, and Hispanic occupations. Land use was during the Republican period, when it was known as Molinos de las Monjas Conceptas. At this moment they remain the owners, apparently. This structure, Molinos del something or other 16, was used until 1929. The wall was the east wall, pre-Inca. This wall is pre-Inca, Caliza, Incaico. Was Molina de Presbiterio Pedro Martin Macan in 16th, 17th century. And this area here is the Molino de Núñez de Bonilla, 1547. This wall is the Muro pre-Inca wall. This wall in here was Molinos del S, 16th century, and Uso until 1929. Notice that north is generally that way. I'm guessing that this was the runoff, and there may have been a secondary one there that's actually the larger of the two. Now this looks like a big grinding wheel. Maybe that's what Molinos refers to. Maybe a granary type thing. Notice that stone is shaped, is dressed to be a funnel of the water into this room. Maybe there was some kind of a water-powered grinding mill right in this room right here. Ada de Molinos Coloniales, Siglio, 17th century. Their grinding wheel. They're not the shaped stone, but here a stone that's been worked in some fashion, has a groove in it to hold something. Stone also is the remnant of a grinding stone. Wall. As we move over here a little ways further, here's this room, and here whatever it was for. But notice this is a heavily worked stone, has a groove on one side and a groove in another with a post hole. And here we have another little groove. This might have been just for a small bit of water, analogous to like a 3/4 inch pipe. And this might have been the continuation of the water drainage out through here. See just the hint of a grinding stone, so I'm getting the idea this was a water-powered grinding mill. Whether those were just used as lintels for a more complete flooring system. This is a pretty substantial waterway if it was required to be that large for the volume. Pre-Inca wall. Notice there's also decent fitting of stones in there, so the concept is probably inherent in anyone who's ever built a stone wall. I seem to imagine if where the water dropped off here, that was where they may have gained power. I don't know. But notice how those lintels connect with that one to the right that's cantilevered heavily out over its wall, as is the one on that side for some reason. Gotten the hint of that this was for grinding. There's another grinding stone, the remains of another, that one over there, and then that one is, notice, two parts, and it's quite possible that that is the whole pair, and then still another one right there. And then this hole down into that room, which was where there would have been another mill, I guess, also had, maybe right underneath us, a covered water trench, canales. It says, a sign says, piso de terra cocida, the floor of something. Has, of course, the uncanny appearance of a continuation of water canal. So this was another water canal coming down there, just a passageway between that wall and what may have been a structure or something here, I don't know. Doesn't tell us. We're here, a fairly large room. Cimientos incasicos. That stone has been worked. What its purpose might have been before that tree tilted it up a bit, who knows? But to people in its day, it had a significance. It was recognized. A pan of this entire lower section. A chunk of grinding stone. Probably those things wore out for some reason and were literally tossed aside because it was too much of a hassle to remove them. Notice again the fitting of stone in that wall. It looks like it could be a recreation, but who knows. This muro en casicos con nichos, the wall, something or other, maybe Inca niches, so maybe it performed that same function, a religious growing calendar, if you will. This may have been an intuwani for following the sun's movement. You can almost notice in that niche there, second from the left, that it has a little bit of a warped trapezoidal look. The channel where water came out, I suppose, unless that was an entry into that little building there. Some more grinding stones. 1, 2 there, just used in the reconstruction. It was a substantially larger structure, particularly if those heavy, large lintels came all the way down to this point right here. It would have been quite a large structure. Notice a lintel on the ground, probably one that's just found. Maybe there were more. Maybe when they reconstructed this room, they used some of the lintels down at the bottom. Who knows? This large stone wall is part of that wall and its structure or not. This was over time a pretty busy location. Last wall is a Canari wall. Pretty substantial waterway. Now notice how far it is away from the one over near that tree and maybe one that came from over there. So perhaps water coming off the mountains or whatever was just channeled differently to different parts of this hill. And there down to our large building, some older dressed stones. A dramatic and to me almost inscrutable artwork that may be God or Jesus, that may be earth between his hand and the hand reaching up, which may be the devil in red. And behind me, believe it or not, is a casket shop. Is there any connection? Here another mural. This one almost looks circusy. You can see a clown and a cannon about to be fired. Is that the audience? And there, the clown. And here the ringmaster with a flute riding a unicycle. But no place reigns greater than Athens for wall mural. And Boulevard Street leading away from the main square. This looks very Art Deco. Another interesting old building, 19th century early. Very pretty old building. the Ministerio of Education. I wonder what the architect had in mind with that coloration, which looks either like a sandstone or faux something.